This video is about how I took a cruise purely through free money I received through credit card points. It's like magic. It was super easy to do, and with the right habits, you can do it too. And yes, we covered both myself and my husband Billy with these points, so you can bring your family and friends right along with you if you choose to do this too. And if you want to jump to a specific topic, I will have timestamps linked below in the description so that you can just jump right to learn about the cruise or the credit card, how we did it, what I'd recommend, etc. Oh, and before we start, if we haven't met yet, my name is Sammy. I help dreamers and doers set healthy habits that will help them achieve their bold dreams. So if those ventures sound like my ventures, Sammy Ventures, please subscribe and we will grow together over time, I am sure. Let's hit it. Before we get into the credit card that I used to book the cruise and all about our cruise, all that good stuff, I want to talk about my first experience with credit cards because growing up, I always was told, like, you never get credit cards. They're dangerous, they will suck you in, they will take all your money, and like, there's no good use for them at all in your life. I'm really thankful I had some financial mentors when I was younger that said, no, you can actually use them in a healthy way. Now, I give a lot of credit to Dave Ramsey because the books that I read, the podcasts I listened to of the Ramsey production group, they changed our lives, and without them we would not be debt-free with an emergency fund and investing and saving for a house. I give them so much credit, but one thing that they say not to do is get credit cards. But I maintain the belief that you can have credit cards if you use them well and if you maintain healthy habits while you use them. So thankfully, like I said, I had a good mentor that said, hey, you can actually get a credit card, pay it off full every month so you don't go into debt and you don't get all this interest piling up. He was like, just use it for your gas for your car. Use it for your gas, pay it off every month. Put it on auto pay. Personally, I think that's the only way to have credit cards is to put them on auto pay and know that you have that money every single month. If you do something different, you do you, but that is the best way to use credit cards for me because you never have to worry about it not getting paid. You just need to make sure you have enough money for whatever you're spending on. Never spend more than you have. I hope you heard that. So we started off with this Quicksilver Capital One credit card. This is not the credit card that I used for our cruise, but as you can see, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on everything. So that was like really cool, right? I'm getting points for spending money on things I would already spend money on. And I had that card for years. I had that card before I got married to Billy. I had it after I got married to Billy. And we just didn't touch any of the point money that was there, like ever. It just kept accruing. Now, my expenses were pretty low in the beginning, but as we got married, as we started paying for more things together, as inflation happened and everything started costing more, the points started adding up quicker and quicker. For many, many years, that was my only credit card. I really love Capital One and I love their high interest savings accounts, how you can have multiple accounts. We put those on auto pay for every month, like to take money out of our account for vacations or for car insurance or for whatever it is, like emergency fund you can set up. We have like 8 of them, 9 of them or something set up that just auto take out the amount of money we need for that thing annually every single month. So once you have one credit card, I feel like you get a lot of offers for other credit cards. And at this point, I ignore all of them. I don't need any more credit cards. But at the time, I was like, ooh, this card has higher point value. It has maybe more opportunity for travel. And so I'm looking at the stats here. I see 3 points for dining purchases, 3 points for streaming, online grocery, 2 points for travel purchases, plus 3 points for Chase travel. I don't actually know what these points were when I first started with this card. I just remember there was a lot of benefit to me getting more points and we were starting to spend more. And I was like, all right, this could be really good. We know how to use credit cards. And this is going to increase how much credit line we have, and maybe that's good for us down the road. I have this funny memory. We should sit down for this. I have this really funny memory of calling the credit card company because the first year of having the credit card, there was no fee, and we had all these benefits for having the card. It was getting more points. Like, it's a thicker card, so it feels really cool when you're using it. But after a year, there was a fee. Okay, and I guess I just like didn't read that, and I was so freaked out by that because at the time we were just like super tight, like watching our budget. And I mean, it's always good to be watching your budget like down to the penny, but I was just like, I did not expect this like $90 fee. It's just an annual fee. And I called and I was like angry. I was like, please take the fee away or let's cancel the card. I had this really sweet rep and I don't even remember honestly what she said on the call, but I know by the end of the call, I was like, I'm gonna keep this card, even with the $90 a year annual fee. Like, look at all these points we're getting, look at all these benefits we have, look at how much money we've saved, like it's worth it. So that was the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. That's the one I used for this cruise. We also have the Chase Freedom Unlimited card with them. And we also got the Saver One card with Capital One. So we only use 2 different credit lines. We have 2 different credit cards with each of them. Honestly, I feel like we only have that many cards because we lose them, and I probably shouldn't say that because now they're gonna find me and like cancel our cards because I lost them. So obviously someone could have stolen it, even though it's probably somewhere in my office because I really need to clean this office. Okay, that was so much more than you wanted to hear about my credit card history, but let's talk about how we actually got enough points to pay for a cruise. Let's go to the ocean because I'm inspired talking about the cruise. Yes, this is supposed to be an ocean wave. Yes, I do feel like I need to fix it. So how exactly do we get enough points on our credit card to be able to take this cruise that costs thousands and thousands of dollars? Time, patience, consistency, and good credit card use. Billy and I have talked about doing this trip for years. Like, this was not just like, oh, we had a good couple months of focus and now we have enough money for a cruise. Like, we literally just never used the points for years and years and years and kept getting more credit cards, kept spending more money, kept getting more points. The only time we ever use, I'm on the wrong side of the room for this, but we'll put a picture on the screen. The only time we ever use our credit card points other than this was when I quit my job and started working from home, working on building my business, and we wanted to build a desk. Billy built me a desk. Picture, there's cabinets and they're custom painted. He got this butcher block from like Lowe's or Home Depot, made it super slick and awesome. Like, I love this desk. It's long enough for both of us. It goes across the whole room, and that maybe cost a couple $100, and we just didn't want to spend money because obviously I was quitting my job, just starting the business. And so we used the points, but the rest of the time, for literally years and years and years of our lives, we were just like, well, we have these points. They're just, you know, adding to our net worth. We're not gonna spend them on anything except for one day we're gonna take a debt-free cruise. We're gonna take a free cruise, a credit card point cruise. Like, literally, yes, we spent money to get these points, but we were gonna spend the money anyway. And so over time, paying off the credit card every single month without going into debt, we had enough points for a cruise. And there's a lot of things you could do with credit card points. You could do home renovations. You could go on a different kind of vacation. You could just buy essentials and like put that money back onto your card and just kind of count it as a little bit of a buffer every month. But for us, we really like just like saving it up and getting this huge, exciting trip out of it where we're like, hey, we didn't spend any money. We still have our vacation fund. Felt so good to do, so good to do. So let's actually talk about the cruise because it was super great. As I talk about the cruise and how amazing it was and what cruise line we used and what I would recommend, I'm going to sit on this butcher block desk, which we also purchased with credit card points, as I just said. So we have used Carnival 2 times before for cruises. Personally, I love Carnival Cruise Line, and if it's not broke, don't try to fix it, right? The first time we went on our Carnival cruise, we went with friends. Shout out to Kimmy for the inspo, because I probably would have never become a cruise person if it weren't for you, because I was like, I don't need cruises in my life. I was wrong. You were right. And the second time we went on a cruise was for our honeymoon, and that was just Billy and I, and that was super, super fun too. When we do finally save enough money to take a cruise, we try to take the longer cruises, like more than 7 days, 8, 9, 10 if you can. You're already there, you're already taking time away. Why not just like get the extra time rather than put all that money and all that like energy and time away from your life into a trip that's just super short and then you spend most of the time on the boat. Anyway, so we like the ones where you can stop at 4 different places. I think we've done that every single time. And I'll talk more about the actual cruise, like what we did, where we stopped later. For now, I just want to say that because we've done other cruises before, we get like all the deals. And if you put your name into most cruise lines, I'm sure you'll start getting deals. They'll start being like, oh, like here's an offer for this fall or for the spring or whatever. But you also get like special member deals once you start going on cruises. Who doesn't want to go on a cruise in the middle of winter? Winter in Pennsylvania can be absolutely awful and isolating, as I'm sure it is in most of the United States. And so the idea of going somewhere warmer, it was like, yes, please. In February, absolutely. And so the cruise that we picked, we definitely got a discount. And so for the first time, we got a balcony room because we weren't paying for this anyway, right? It was all credit card points and we're getting all these special offers. And so that combined was just like this perfect deal that we did not have to pay for. Okay, so let's actually talk about how we use points to pay for these cruises. When I was talking about the different kind of points you can get back for spending money, there was something called Chase Travel, right? So if you book through a credit card company, you will get more points on your spending. There's a lot of benefit to going through their company. So their hotel bookings, their car bookings, their flight bookings. So that would be like using Chase to book the hotel, using Chase to book the flights, using Chase to book whatever, the cruise, the cars, whatever you could do. I have never found that cost effective. I have looked for many trips and I've compared like their flight prices, even with the points like you're gonna get, to just going going directly through the airline or using some kind of booking site that gives you a discount. And so we have never actually used the credit card travel portal for either Capital One or Chase. I have always just booked it all direct, and then when I want to take advantage of the credit card points, I'll just do the pay yourself back option, which is an option on both of those cards, Chase and Capital One. And then of course, so you're getting more points because you're spending money with the card, and then you can pay yourself directly back with the card, and it will just like come right off your bill. It's not like it gives you money. You just basically aren't charged for that on your credit card bill, so it does kind of give you money in a way. So I did this pretty much right away. I think we booked the cruise in November, and it was February that we were leaving. And that night that I booked the cruise, I just like hit pay yourself back for the exact amount I spent on the cruise, and boom, it was right there in the card. It was like a free cruise. I didn't spend any money, and that's just absolutely magical and mind-blowing to me. Immediate, easy, magic, free. We like all of these things, right? And hear me out. I know I'm making this sound really simple and easy, and in some ways it is. Like, you just have to do what needs to be done and it's gonna work. And it, like, you get the money and it's free and it happened. But if you think about it, like, don't forget that took years and years of saving, years and years of healthy habits, years of self-control to not spend all that money that was just building up with credit card points. Were there other things we could have done? Yeah. Was there other stuff we probably would have bought with that money? Absolutely, why not? Took years of paying off the card on time, using autopay is my recommendation so that we wouldn't go into debt, so that we could do something like this, so we didn't have to like pay off our debt instead of do this. And it took patience to wait for a cruise deal that was good for us, that made sense for us. And so it is simple and easy, but it's also not in a way too. And so I absolutely wholeheartedly believe you can do this. There's no reason you can't. It's just that you need to commit to it, right? You need to say, these are the things that need to be done for this to work, and then you need to do them. Okay, enough tough love. Let's talk about the cruise itself, because it was absolutely magical and wonderful, beautiful. I'm so glad we did it. When's the next one? We have like 2 that we're already thinking about in the next 2 years, but let's talk about that. Okay, you've officially entered the cruise talk portion of this video. This is our 3rd Carnival cruise, as I mentioned. This was our first time going out of New York City. We're in Pennsylvania. Typically, we have flown to Florida. The first 2, we flew to Florida, went out of, multiple different ports there that we've used to come in and out. When you're in Florida, you start off warm, right? It's beautiful weather, and you're just like, I'm from Pennsylvania, everything is terrible, and now it's not. It's just mind-boggling. But if you're going out of New York City, obviously that's gonna take some time to get down to the south where it is warmer, and it's not gonna necessarily be warm for the first day or 2. I wasn't sure how that was gonna go. I wasn't sure if I was going to like that. In the end, I definitely think it's worth it to do that. I loved going out of Florida, and I hope we still do that in the future when we have more time, that we can travel down to Florida, enjoy some time there. But you save so much on travel costs. First of all, I didn't have to pay for flights. We didn't have to worry about getting to the airport, get like the extra day, and are we gonna need a hotel overnight? Like, that's just so much more to think about. So instead, the boat left on a Friday afternoon. We're in Pennsylvania. It takes a couple hours to get to New York City, right? So we had to be there midday Friday. No big deal. We had a friend, best man duties, Michael, shout out to you, who drove us almost in, like, just outside the city, and then we took an Uber from there right into the city. So super low cost to get in. No flights, no hotels. It was like, we're there in half a day, right onto the boat, boom. Now we can eat all the food on the boat, where there is like unlimited food all the time. They have all the things you could ever want, and just exploring the boat was so much fun. It was like a dreary, foggy, cool, like February blah kind of day. By the next day, it was like, it's starting to get warmer. It's kind of still kind of dreary, and like, but we can exercise on the boat. They had a whole basketball court. I was playing soccer with the crew members. That was so fun. There's activities all day long. There's, food and drinks like out the wazoo. You can't believe it. There's like shows, and we went to comedy shows every night. And then this like magical thing happened where on that second day that we were on the boat, still going down south, the sun was out. It was warm out. Like, we could tan. We could swim. There's hot tubs. I mean, when it's cool, but like, it was this beautiful experience. So like, it was kind of cool in a way. I don't think everybody would like that if they just want to get somewhere warm as fast as possible. They don't mind taking the energy or spending the money on the flights and everything to get down there. But for us, like, it was a really cool transition. And also, if you're new to cruising, it might be easier for you to get somewhere close by and then take more time to get down to the warmth rather than fly and deal with all the other arrangements, because if you're not used to making travel arrangements, that can be stressful. So we are going to do that again, absolutely, when we do our friend cruise, where we invite a bunch of friends that have never been on a cruise, because I think it's more manageable for them to do a week, even if it's a short cruise, right out of New York City, rather than, you know, get the flights, travel, stay overnight, and do an excessively long cruise from Florida, which is still super awesome, but not what we did this time. For this cruise, we had 4 stops. We went to Miami first, which was really cool. I didn't know how that was gonna be because you're still in the United States, and I was like, I don't know, but it was totally a different like atmosphere completely, and there's beach, and it's sunny and hot, and we did a bus tour. That was the only time we've done an excursion, well, this cruise. Mostly we do beach time, and especially when you're in the Bahamas, which is where we went, like you have to, this blue water, I cannot make up this blue water. We don't have this blue water in Pennsylvania or the East Coast. So into Miami, we did the bus tour, hop on and off, very cool, ate some good food, saw some neat sights, and just being outside in February with like a t-shirt or like a tank top on, Pennsylvanians can't even, like that was enough. We also went to Bimini, Freeport, and Nassau, doing the beach excursions. Loved all of them. Bimini's water absolutely blew my mind. I can't wait to go back. Like, it was just so beautiful. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day. Met great people, ate great food, awesome drinks. Our cruise director, Mark Hugh, on the beautiful Carnival Venezia, an Italian themed boat. Like, I wasn't sure how any of that was gonna go. Italian boat? What is that? That's not what I want. I want to go to the beach. It was so cool. It was swanky, stylish. Like, they had so much fun with it. We had a masquerade. Mark Q was like the best cruise director, so full of life. The dance parties were all great. I did the silent disco, Billy did not, but he came to the 80s party night with me, and we went to the club a couple nights, and like I said, we did comedy shows. There's so much to do. Have I convinced you to take a cruise yet? Because that's my goal here. Honestly, it just felt like a dream to wake up every morning and be able to like tan in the sun in February and eat tons of food, play sports with these crew members from all over the world. The comedy shows every night were like absolute gold. I highly recommend a cruise to anybody that's thinking about like taking vacation, that you just want all these different options. I have a screenshot of my Apple Watch and what it said to me after the cruise. It was like, you didn't sleep. I know I didn't sleep because we stayed up so late, and then we woke up early and maybe napped during the day at the beach or whatever, but it was just nonstop fun, and I highly recommend it. And it was all made possible because of these healthy habits. Like, I didn't have to spend money on it, right? We took some risks with the credit cards, and we had to implement some discipline in our lives to make it possible. But you can do that too, and I'm gonna do it again. So why don't you do it with me? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, if you haven't implemented good financial habits in your life in the past, or don't have good habits in your life in general, it's not gonna be easy to make all these changes at once, right? You might have to take them one at a time. If you want some of my best advice, honestly, for habits, and especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, but even if you're not, I'd recommend this video that I made to like give advice to myself, a younger version of myself, and I think it's great for anyone who's younger, and I honestly would probably just keep watching it and reminding myself of these healthy habit tips, more or less, that can help you have a better life, help me have a better life, right? We know these things, we say these things, but sometimes we need to just be like kicked in the head a little bit to remember what it takes to form the life of our dreams. These bold dreams we want to live out, which is what I talk about in my channel all the time. So subscribe if you're interested in more of that. How do we live it out? We live it out through healthy habits, and we can know that, but we need to actually put it into practice, right? We need to believe it too. And I know if you implement those habits in your life, slowly but surely, one at a time, more and more every year, you will absolutely change your life. And if changing your life happens to involve a cruise of some kind or a vacation of some kind that you didn't have to pay for, please let me know, because that would absolutely make my day, make my week, make my year. Let me know what you'd save up for and what you'd spend your money on in the comments. Catch you in the next one.